In a previous video we used the Gmail API and the quickstart script to send an email, but that video just showed us creating the email using a here document. This video is just going to show a couple of methods of actually really controlling the email format using PHP libraries. So to get started, I've got our quick start script here, and basically all it does is build a Gmail client and then authenticates with the remote API and sends an email. And that is, of course, using an authentication JSON file that will allow that to happen. So I'm just going to put the latest authentication there, and then we're going to send using that. So PHP quick start, and we should see some output, and then if we go to my my inbox, we can see that it's sent it to my Gmail. So now the question is how do we get some more control over our email format rather than just building it here using a here doc? Well, that's where our PHP libraries come in. We're just going to have a look at using PHPMailer first, and if we go to the GitHub page for that, all we need to do is pull in PHPMailer with Composer, and then we want to use it to create an email with. Now if we have a look at the simple example in the GitHub page, we'll be able to use that to build from. Now in this project was generated if we were going to do it again, we'd say git init, composer init, and then we would generate a project. And basically you can see here where I named it Togonation Gmail-API-example, and then that gave me a namespace here which is rooted on the src directory. So we can now build our own classes using this namespace and have them pull in automatically, because our quick start is using, if we go to here, it's pulling in the auto load for Composer. So anything that we build can be pulled in and used as long as we're using this auto load, and Composer will be our friend. So what I'm going to do is create a new folder called src. Then I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call that PHP mailer message PHP, and I have a extension called PHP namespace resolver, which can help me to pull in the namespace, and then I just give my class the same name as the file name. Now what I've done here is copy and pasted the stuff from the PHPMailer README document, and I'm just going to modify it so that it's working correctly as far as I need it to. And we're not going to be using this, we're going to send using the Gmail API, but we're just going to pull from PHPMailer a formatted email. So what I need to do is I'm going to go into Quick Start, which is where I built the email before, and I'm going to grab the from, so I'm going to put set from is that, and the from descriptor is this one, and then we don't need to do everything, we just need to do just what we need. We don't need to do all those things, just to give ourselves a sample. And then we've got here, let's add an attachment. And so I'm going to create a constant images, and that will be, so we'll go, I think it's like that, create that, and I want that not to have the dots in it, so I want to resolve that, but then once, so that should give us a path to, and we need to create the images folder, and we want some images to put in it, so I've already downloaded myself and we're just going to paste in downloads and copy, and then we go back, hopefully, there we go, paste. So we're just pasting in a smiley GIF to give ourselves something to attach. So we're going to add an attachment, and we're going to use images and smiley.png and get rid of the extra attachments. Now we can use the and now we've got an issue here. We don't want to send it, we just want to return the string of the email, the generated email string. So what we can do, we go get sent my message. So here we see, if we look at the get sent, returns the whole my message, so it'll be a string with all the my message formatted in there, but it's saying here only valid post presend. So what I'm going to do is call presend to make sure it's valid, and then I'm going to return that email that's been created. So then we go over to our quick start, and instead of pulling in a here document, we actually say PHPMailer message, and I think we've got to new that up. So we go new, and then hit create, and that will then generate an email message for us, and then hopefully we can just run it and go to our inbox and see what it looks like. Now that's added the image as an attachment, but very often you don't want that, you want to actually embed it. So now what I'm going to do is we're not going to use that add an attachment now, we're going to add embedded image, and if we have a look at this, we can say, okay, the name, the CID is, I'm going to call it smiley, and then instead of just leaving this as, we're going to go img src equals CID, I think it's smiley. You can do this programmatically, of course, but we're not going to, and then closing it. So now let's try that, and we've now been able to create an email with a massive embedded image. So I'm going to change that as well. We might say style equals height equals 100 px. Oh, that's not right. 100 px, and width, let's make it auto since we've already specified height, and then right, let's try that again and see what it looks like, and that's probably a lot more reasonable. So that's using the PHPMailer, but we're just pulling out a message from it. Now let's do the same thing in Symfony, which if we go to the SwiftMailer, I I don't know, but I felt this was maybe a little bit easier to use than the PHPMailer, but we pull in SwiftMailer and we go back into our SRC folder and create a new we call that SwiftMailer message, and here we go in and again we use our PHP namespace resolver to create that class, and we go public function create, and let's just change this because it's kind of nice not to have to new it up, so we'll make it a static function. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to look at, we've got basic usage here, so we're not interested in transport and sending it via the SwiftMailer. Of course we could, but we're using the Gmail API, and you could probably get both of these packages to send via the Gmail API if you wanted to, but we're looking at something a little bit different, just pulling an email out. So what we're going to do is pull in our Swift message class, and then we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did before, and put in our to and from and return, and this time it's actually a little bit easier to use this. It's to string, so we can get the string of this, and this time instead of it being newing it up, what we'll do, we'll go SwiftMailer message, and because it's static we can just call it like that. Right, let's try that again, and hopefully we've now added our message there. So that makes it pretty quick and simple. But now what we want to do is look at our creating messages documentation in the SwiftMailer, and hopefully it looks like we've got a slow internet happening. Alright, and hopefully we can now look at not just creating a simple message, but let's make something a little bit easier. So you see here we can embed files, and we're going to just look at embedding that smiley image again. So go into SwiftMailer, and at the moment this is not defining a content type, but I'm going to now say, okay, this is text HTML, and I'm going to give it some HTML, and what I want to do again is let's insert, and I'm going to create an IMG, and it's SRC, and we want to put in a same thing that we did last time, but this time we've got a little bit of work to do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of, I'm just going to copy that in there while I get this all sorted out. So I'm just going to just new that up, and I'm going to put message, and I'm going to say we're getting close, so new set subject, and my fantastic subject, and then I'm going to grab that, put it back here, and say I want to embed from, I'll grab this code that we had from here, I want that, and we want this here as well, we want that. So from path, so we've got our CID, and now we've got our embedded image. Oh, and again, we don't want that huge, so we might put some styling in there again as well. And let's see how that looks when we send it. It might error out if we haven't got it right, but it looks like it's okay. So let's now go back and see what it looks like now. So there you can see two different methods of generating just the message component, then wrapping it in a Gmail message and then sending it using the Gmail message service, so, and the Gmail API. So I hope that is helpful to someone.